Whoa, I'm back after over a month to show you a loadout that I actually first talked about a few months ago. You're seeing gameplay on screen of me melting smashers, I have no doubt. Editing Beast is on it, I'm sure. This build is literally the strongest loadout I have ever seen. And in today's video, I have a feature on how to make it better. If you want the history of this build and you want to learn more about it, I'll actually recommend that previous video. I still think it's worth watching. There's kind of a series of steps that led to what we're seeing today. So I'm going to gloss over a lot of the mechanics behind it. I highly suggest the recent videos on that down in the description. That'll get into it further. But basically, the basic gist, without getting any further into it, is that hero ability damage buffs the explosion of the Black Metal 6 perk. So let's talk about what that means. I've actually supercharged my Blackout AR since then. Every time you reload, which you can do with Chaos Agent, we'll get to that, triggers an explosion that does 29 base damage to 132 based on how low your health is. So if your health is very, very low and you dash and reload with Chaos Agent or reload normally, you'll do a ton of damage, millions. And in this build, we're running double crit damage because we have first shot Rio, and we've got that 80% because bonus damage is nice. It's also fire, and we'll be recording in a nature zone today, no doubt. So let's go over the build real quick. Happy Holidays is for phase shift. Phase shift is for Chaos Agent, so we can reload instantly. Then we got first shot Rio just to make sure we crit. Fumble because it's got that high ability damage, and it is something that can kind of help us. We're really strapped for different options there. Fuel for the Fallen is because we're going to need a lot of energy, and Assault crit damage because we are going to be critting a lot, and this is a little bit more useful than some of the alternatives. So with that said, let's hop in game and show what I've got. Now, this is sort of how the build works. This is very high up, so I'm probably going to kill myself on accident, but you can see, basically, you just dash, shoot, dash, and then you just kill everything as you go. It is so powerful. Also, big shout out to Slow Speed because I'm recording this on stream at a very bad time for viewers, so I don't actually have a full lobby. This is the first time I've ever done pubs, but he's actually in the stream, so he's helping me get some of the bigger targets so we can really showcase this build in all of its glory. You see, for example, these basic zombies are just ridiculously underpowered for this weapon. Nothing stands any chance against it, so if we don't have a smasher or a mist monster to shoot at, it's almost no point in even talking about it. Now, speaking of bigger targets, some fatties are good too, but you see, just one hit, everything just dies with such ease. This is honestly my favorite loadout in the entire game, and the reason that I haven't talked about it for many months is because we went through a period of a mutant storm, which essentially means we had one element for 2.5 months straight, and that element was water. Now, the black metal weapons can only be fire or physical, and so this weapon doesn't really need to do full damage to be optimal, but like, it was still just not a good time to use this loadout. So now that we got nature or even fire seasons back in town, I'm pretty excited about it. And this loadout can actually stand to lose 33% of its damage. So if you wanted to use this in a fire zone, fire versus fire, that would actually be perfectly fine. This build is going to do tons of damage no matter what. You're going to be absolutely fine. I have no worries about that. So, because I record these on stream, Twitch link down below, I get helpful prompts like being asked if this weapon can be fluxed. And that's actually a recent change. I believe the black metal weapons were voucher only very recently. Even if I was wrong, a lot of weapons just became fluxible. Because now if any weapon is available in a llama, it no longer requires a weapon voucher. I actually made a brand new weapon voucher video, link to that in the description down below. Super good video. I think I did a much better job on the second try. So if you're somebody who is still a little uncertain about their weapon vouchers, that video is a great resource. And the black metal weapons no longer need vouchers, or at least the black metal AR doesn't. You can get this weapon for flux and weapon designs, which, as you can see, the absolute astonishing power of this build is far stronger than even some of the launchers in the game. And yeah, I think 2 medium bullets per millions of damage is certainly worth a weapon voucher, let alone flux, which is cheaper than a voucher in my opinion, because every venture season where you typically get a weapon voucher, you also get 100 flux. People kind of ignore that, and it's very easy to get weapon designs. A lot of people just forget that you can open up a bunch of llamas, recycle all the weapons, and get plenty of tickets. Now, this event in particular, as of recording, is a pretty bad one because there is no event mode. I mean, you get war games, but we don't have Frost Night or dungeons to farm tickets. So maybe I can concede my point on that front, but in general, when those events come around, you can farm up lots and lots of weapon designs super easily. And I'm pretty sure I've got like 7,000 or 8,000 tickets this season anyway, without really trying much. Quests give you a lot of tickets. My point is, this weapon is much more obtainable now. So if you ever wanted to try this loadout out of season, as I am recording this video months and months after this weapon normally comes around, you can actually build this for relative ease. And I think that voucher applies to a lot of the heroes as well. So I think Flash AC should be flexible. I actually don't even know. Maybe Editing Beast can check for me, but either way, good change, accessible build. I'm probably going to cut to when the defense begins so we can show off some more meaty, high damage numbers, you know? All right, this is a little before the defense begins, but that's because I want to do some setup. I want to show you the reason I'm recording this video, and it is called the Crow's Nest. So if you look at the map, I don't actually know exactly where the spawns are going to be, but it's all right. I can actually, apparently find out right now. So we're going to have some spawns over here. This is the new innovation. Basically, you can make a nice small platform. Now, this has actually gone under some renovations where this used to be very big, but look at this. All you can do is just dash into these corners, or all you have to do rather. And this will allow you to dash and dash and dash, and I'll be getting a lot more energy as I'm getting kills, so don't worry about me running out right now. You can just use this to re-up your ability while staying relatively still, and you can just snipe. Look at the range on this weapon. Look at that damage. That was a fatty. That was a fatty. And now chrome husks are a thing too. The randoms in my lobby have started the mission. That's perfectly fine because I can demonstrate this right now. Look at how insanely usable this is. I can actually line up and hit these targets with so much convenience. And I'm trying to make sure that I hit an enemy here because that is where I'm going to get fuel for the fall. And you can see in the bottom left, I'm getting a lot more energy now. Look at how convenient this is. I'm waiting for him to get cloaked so we can snipe that. Perfect. This is a huge upgrade to this build. In fact, like I said, it went under some renovations because this is what I used to do. I used to do like maybe 1 or 2. You can just sort of edit the walls like this. You know, you can pre-edit and make it set up pretty easily. This gives you a lot more range, and this is just a concept. You know, you don't need to do the little one. You can do a nice big 1x1. You can do a 2x2. And if you're ever running out of health, I don't believe dashing like this can kill you. See, I'm at 11,000, but you can easily put a campfire just off to the side because you don't want to be healing constantly. You just want to not be dead. Now, lobbers can also be a huge problem for this build. And so that's something to consider. But you can see it's a lot better than what I'm doing right now, where I'm sort of dashing around. I'm wasting time running to sort of realign my aim. And still, I'm doing plenty of damage because right now I'm fairly safe. But we're getting the mini-boss. The mini-boss that is long awaited. I remember when I first recorded this video, it was over 30 minutes long, I think. It was 34 minutes long. I'm trying to remember because I couldn't find a smasher mini boss that was like worth shooting at. And I'm running out of energy, of course, because I didn't put down any traps. And that's thanks to my teammate. I promise I wasn't, wow, 1 HP in a dream. I wasn't trying to be lazy. I just, well, they trapped for me. So yeah. And you can see the mini boss went down pretty easily because my teammates were on it. But that is so much damage versus a nature mini boss too. Look at this. I can just get right back up in my crow's nest. Now, as I was saying before the mini boss, lobbers can be a problem and they will destroy these little crow's nests. So it's worth it to upgrade these. You can put anti-air traps around you. Again, my teammates in pubs right now are amazing. The campfire is really good too, just to stay alive, just out of range. And I recommended this in the past, or I was going to recommend this before I simplified the build down to this little corner. You can build a nice little 2x2, just sort of putting it all the way around here. Then a campfire can just be healing one corner because you can see I'm going to be doing a lot less damage. Like that smasher would have died a lot sooner if I had been a lower HP. Lower HP is the key. You want to be low HP. You just don't want to be dead. So a campfire can be really nice if you're dealing with enemies that are hitting you with fire, or I mean, look at this chrome husk. 2 hitting a chrome husk like it's nothing. And this is a fire weapon after all, so it'll actually keep a chrome husk down. Chrome husks being pretty much only killable on fire and water elements, I believe. Yeah, nature is where they stay alive. You can just snipe. You can just snipe. The range on this weapon is super good. There's a smasher just get inside my little crow's nest. So there you go. And then my teammates are going to finish him off. Get some energy back, knock out the mist monster. This build, oh, I wish I would have recorded it the first time I used it when we came back to this season, when it was no longer water and I could use it again. I was literally giggling. Now, I'm only 23, but I think that's enough of an age to say that I am a grown man giggling like a little girl just out of the excitement of this build. It was so much damage. And my teammates on stream were no doubt pulling out this loadout as well. And if you get look at that, 2 mist monsters almost entirely in one shot. There's a smasher. Oh, he survived, but my teammates got him. So, like, to have a whole team of people using this build is so much damage. Look at that. Look at that damage. He survives with 1 HP. basically two-hitting a smasher. If you can hit a headshot in there, I'm pretty sure you die a little sooner. And there is damage drop-off on my initial bullets, and that explosion does not have a drop-off. That's why I'm basically sniping here. It's so much damage, so little so much ease. I'm just getting too excited over my own words, and I thought I had an adrenaline rush. But that's basically the updated version of this build that I wanted to show. It's the same loadout as before, but with the new strategy, the Crow's Nest. That is definitely the strongest way to do it. In full transparency, the strategy was recommended to me and discovered a long time ago, but as mentioned, we went through a snowstorm for 2.5 months in game, so I really couldn't demonstrate this to its full effect. So yeah, on that note though, I don't think I'm done using this build, so we're gonna queue up another one of these missions and just hop right back in. All right, back in another game. Got to smash on a roof, and you know how this goes. Just 1, 2, it's dead. And his teammates over here aren't really too big of a problem, although they've made me a nice little crow's nest on their own, so I appreciate the help, yeah? Oh, one of my favorite things about this build. Normally a bubbled shielder and a nice little nurse combo would be annoying, but 2 shots, that's all it takes, and everything is just dead. This build, oh, I love it. I'm just gonna rave about this build the whole time. I mean, that is what the video is about, is it not? Oh, look at that. We just got a nice smasher hanging around. Let's see, 1 shot, and he's dead. He never even got to do damage. It's actually kind of tough. If you guys have noticed that this video is a bit shorter than usual, yes, we're in deliver the bomb, and the defense is only 4 minutes long, but also, this build kills everything so fast that my clips are very short. It's a shorter YouTube video, but certainly is a good problem to have when you're dealing with something this freaking strong. Easy cleanup. I love it so much. Thank you, Reflexes. So again, we don't have a full lobby going into this, so a lot of the people in the public game are actually from the stream, Twitch link down below, and they've been super useful. Like, I don't know. I was scared of pubs. I know I have a different experience as a streamer, but I always feel like teammates that are good should be appreciated. We only ever get screenshots of the dumbass placing broadside shooting off into nothing, but more often than not, I would like to think that people actually help in missions. If you guys ever have bad teammates in pubs, I mean, our Discord is linked down below. You have a much higher chance of finding useful people in there, so it's worth a little plug, you know, Discord link down below. All right, I was gonna set up this defense on camera real quick, but you know I can't skip an opportunity to bully a smasher. And like I said, this video, if I didn't keep talking after the kill, would be like 10 seconds long. These kills are so fast. Let's go set up this. My teammates are starting without me. Okay, this is getting a lot more exciting than I expected. So, real quick, there's the defense over there. Okay, the lobbers are throwing stuff. That's gonna be a problem. Let's build out of nature and then block it off. Build it just like that, and then we can do anti-airs, but I can't do the anti-airs because they're not giving it to me because my inventory is too full. Let's just do a bunch of them so that we don't have any problem. Oh yeah, Ben's War Cry, thank you for the stream redeem. Let's go over here, do this, take away that little piece. I should have pre-edited my build and now I'm dead. I appreciate my helpful teammates. You know, Reflexes will revive me. Oh, Durley will revive me as well, but they start the mission without me being ready. So I'm doing metal here because nature enemies shouldn't be getting up this high, but even with all this chaos, it just shows how easy this is to set up. You can build a crow's nest anywhere. And it's funny how different this video is going to be because I waited many weeks between figuring out the crow's nest and actually showing it in video. Donna, welcome. She's in our call as well. And in the time that I wasted not recording my video, I simplified it. So now this little corner wall or corner build is what I tend to prefer, and it's a lot more convenient. So yeah, there's the chain of bad mini bosses continuing. You know, we had a good one. We had a good one last game, but this one's gonna be a bit more annoying. So let's do this. Let's prep the build in advance so I don't spend all my time doing that, and just like that, you're good to go. One-shotting miss monsters like it's nothing. This is so beautiful. To knock down a smasher like that with relative ease is so satisfying. It's one of my favorite things to do in this entire game. This build is so good, and my teammates are struggling here with my with my build, putting walls above me and everything. That's all right though. It seems like I got visibility over here, and this build is so universal. It's great. Let's take out the smasher. Let's do this. Go through the acid pools, trying to avoid it slightly. I can't really help much on the mini boss, but I can help on these big targets because you can do damage before they even hurt you. I'm trying to take a nice good of attention for my energy. I'm at 86 health, which in a game like Save the World in the end game where I am is insanely low. And I'm so used to the crack shot builds that I forget that I can go on without, you know, like I'm trying to not switch off my weapon because crack shot has taught me as much. Link to the crack shot videos down below, by the way. I don't know if I'll plug them on screen, but link to them down below either way. The crackshot builds, you basically build up tons and tons of damage, and then if you switch off your weapon, you lose it all. But in this build, you can just switch as much as you want. All you gotta do is make sure to reload before firing again, and it's a very versatile build. Look at me, paying back my teammates, one of them at least. I was thinking earlier that that defender was a teammate. It is not, actually. But this is my favorite thing, you know. I talk about how much damage this build does, but at the whole time, I have failed to mention the obvious fact that it's range damage as well. Like, it's area of effect. You are not only doing millions and millions of damage, but you're doing it into a crowd of enemies all at once. So anything within range of that explosion dies, and it's a pretty good, I think, 0.75 tiles. That's easy to check, actually. Let me just pull up my weapon. Hopefully don't die while I'm checking. It is 0.75. There you go. So pretty good distance, actually. It's almost a full tile, and that's 1.5 across. So centered on that enemy, you just shoot in the middle of a crowd and you'll hit everything for equal damage. So even if there's a smasher in the crowd, you might want to prioritize shooting at a smaller target, just like I'm about to do here. It looks like the smasher is actually the center, and then everything just dies. And it looks like the damage drop off for this weapon does happen at this range, but the explosion still does full. So it's just ludicrously strong. One of my favorite builds. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm starting the outro a little early because we got about 20 seconds left in this mission. So I know that I skipped over a lot of the specific science, but as mentioned, this is sort of a multi-part series. We started with the Dirge song being amazing. Then I showed a build with the Blackout AR. Then I showed a build with like the Flash AC refined Blackout AR, I think. Yeah, I did. That's the order of operations. And so there are quite a few videos in this series, and that's why I figured I'd save a bit of time. But yeah, this is definitely a strategy that I recommend utilizing. I know I hopped down from my crow's nest this entire mission, but I didn't have a lot of time to set up. So now hopefully you guys can get the idea, and forgive me for that. Thank you so much for watching. Twitch link down below. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next one, and yeah, take it easy. And then